Welcome to the show. He is one of the most important voices of our generation. Ladies and gentlemen, commentator and host of TV1's News One Now, Roland Martin is in the building.
What's going on?
How
All
you
good?
feel, man?
All good?
Man, I've been trying to get this dude on the show forever. I mean, this man right here got to be busier than the president, man.
Well, actually, the current president doesn't do much work.
Well, I wasn't talking about that.
Okay, I mean,
I wasn't even talking about him. I'm still thinking about Barack.
just 2 weeks in, he already playing golf, and all he did was complain and bitch about President Obama playing golf.
Exactly.
And I'm like, 2 weeks in, you already playing golf down in Florida. But first of all, I just call that dude in the White House.
Right. Exactly, because he's not my president, man.
Well, he's a joke. He's a joke. I mean, so he talked. I love how he always criticized Hillary Clinton during the campaign, talking about how he just has so much energy. Right. But yet when he acted a fool with the Australian Prime Minister and hung the phone up, they try to come out and say, well, he was tired. Tired?
Right.
You ain't do nothing. You tired?
Man, how does that happen, man? How did we allow this to happen, man? Like this, I mean, the Republican Party, they had to have somebody that was more intelligent, somebody that could speak
they did.
above a fourth grade level.
But you got to remember, there were about 9 or 10 governors who ran.
Right.
Here's the deal. This is the deal. So when you have 16 people, you don't need 50%. All you need is 30%. Because when you're running against that many people, you pick up 30%, you can win a primary. And so this dude played by no rules. He attacked, he trashed them, and he appealed to that base level of people who angry, fed up, upset. He was so vulgar, fine with it. And even think about it. One of his first attacks was on Senator John McCain, who's a POW, and they didn't care. And so when you trash folks to that level, all of a sudden you're taking folks out. And remember, his opponents were scared to attack him. Mm-hmm. And people did underestimate him. Many of us said he didn't have a shot because we actually thought Republicans had more brains than voting for this dude.
And we thought the American people had more brains than that.
And so you get this perfect storm. You had the people who didn't like Hillary Clinton, who were mad at her, liberals who wanted a perfect candidate, had to agree on every single issue out there. And all of a sudden, he runs against her. Her team runs a horrible campaign, not enlisting proper people. Then all of a sudden, he gets in. But see, here's the beauty, though, and I'll compare it to you like this here. You have any sisters?
Yeah.
Okay.
2.
So imagine your sister's dating somebody. You, your mama, your daddy, everybody in the family saying, he ain't no good for you.
Right.
He ain't no good. No, I love him. No, don't listen to nobody.
Right.
Okay, then it's kind of like, okay, you want to marry that fool.
Right.
You go ahead and marry him. Then all of a sudden, your life is hell. Well, you can't run back and look at everybody else and we tried to tell you he was stupid.
Right.
But you kept wanting to stick with him. It's the same thing. Sometimes you get what you ask for. And so now all the folks on the left who are angry and ticked off, all those fools who say, Hillary, she's no better than Trump. Now they're going, damn, she actually would have been better than him. It's like, oh, now y'all want to see. So sometimes you need that wake-up call. Mm-hmm. Trump is that wake-up call for all those folks sat on their behinds. A lot of black millennials sat on their behinds. The Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies did a survey in where black voters made it clear to the tune of 92, 94% they were going to vote. 76% of black folks, 18-29, said they were going to vote. 18% of folks 18-29 who are black said they were not going to vote at all. Mm-hmm. Now you're mad.
That 18%
but you
could have
didn't
been
vote.
the difference in the presidency.
Well, yeah, because the deal is this here, and this is the piece. Whenever you hear people say there's not enough black people to flip an election, that's a lie. We don't vote our numbers. Same thing with Latinos. You have 2.1 million eligible but unregistered Latinos in Texas. Mm-hmm. If you got 30% of the unregistered but eligible Latinos in Texas, if you got 30% of them to register and vote, just 30%, forget the other 2/3, that's by 700,000. If you look at the elections in Texas, the difference is anywhere from 250 to 300,000 votes. So if you do a 70-30 split of 700,000, you're talking about 490,000 votes. You could actually win. You can beat the Republicans in that effort. And so when you vote your numbers, and that's the problem. See, what we have to say is we don't care what white folks do. We're going to vote our numbers.
Right.
We're not going to leave our power sitting at home. You vote your numbers, you can anticipate that they're not going to vote their numbers. Mm-hmm. You can actually win elections. And so now it's a wake-up call. The Women's March, then you had the refugee, the Muslim ban march. I mean, everywhere he goes, he was in Mar-a-Lago, his third weekend, boom, protests followed. Now folks are realizing, yeah, you're going to have resistance every day for the next 4 years.
I'm resisting my ass off. I already told everybody, man, Donald Trump is never getting my support. I'm going to treat him just like he treated Barack Obama. I'm going to give him the most disrespect I can muster from my soul. I am going to disrespect them at every turn. He ain't getting nothing because all of a sudden he gets in office and everybody's saying, forget about it, y'all crybabies.
Saying give him a chance, give him a chance.
Let's unite. But what was all this uniting and getting together and forgetting about it when Barack was in office and they attacked Barack for eight straight years? Even before he got in office, when they saw it was possible that he could get there, they started going in
on it. My issue when it comes to, so like for instance, when Jim Brown, Ray Lewis, Steve Harvey, Martin Luther King III, when all of these different folks met with Trump. Mm-hmm. And then you had this blowback. I made clear the blowback wasn't because, the blowback was not because they met with them. Is what you said and articulated when you came out of the meeting. Right. And I said this on my show. If I met with Trump,
right,
and when the meeting was over, the media would say, what happened? I said, well, first and foremost, I looked him in his eye and I said, when are you going to apologize to American people for being the birther-in-chief, for lying on President Barack Obama and his birth certificate? Did you personally apologize to President Obama? That was the first question I asked him. The second question I asked him is, when you talk about black folks, what the hell do you have to lose? I want to know right now, are you going to stand with black folks when it comes to the full implementation of the Voting Rights Act, which the Supreme Court gutted in Shelby v. Holder in 2013? Are you going to call out North Carolina Republicans for the massive voter suppression? You've been lying about all this voter fraud, 3 to 5 million votes. Where's your proof? See, I'm going to come out and I'm going to lay out all the stuff that I said, and black folks are going to be like, see, that's what I'm talking about right there. See, I'm not going to come out and say, oh, it was great, he was congenial, it was nice.
Yeah,
and
right.
No.
That's what tripped me out about him, about a lot of them that came out. It seemed like they were just happy to be invited to the White House, or not the White House, but to his house.
To a meeting. You have to have an agenda.
Yeah.
For me, is you walk in, what's your agenda? I'm walking to the meeting saying, during the campaign, Hillary Clinton pledged $25 billion to HBCUs. What's your HBCU plan?
Right.
I want to know what's your plan when it comes to African-American businesses being able to get small business loans. I want to know what's your plan when it comes to, you keep saying black unemployment. Okay, what is your existing plan? Okay, you talk about opportunities. What opportunities? Give me hardcore numbers that you provided for black firms when it came to your buildings and construction. How many folks, who did you help out? Was it 20, right, 30, 40%? And what were those companies? You talk about creating jobs. Did you create any jobs programs for African Americans when it came to your construction companies? Please show me the proof.
Right.
See, I'm not going to accept just your general sort of BS. No. I'm going to challenge you with very specific information, and you're going to have to give me your plan, your policy, not some generic, oh, I want to do something about the problem. Right. It's not going to work.
Right, and he said he wants to be the president of law and order. And so I would ask him also, what are you going to do about making sure the law follows the law?
Precisely.
What are you going to do about putting them in order with all these crooked-ass cops all around America? You're going to just provide a safe haven for them and continue to protect them? And it's like he's fostering this us against them type mentality.
Right.
Law and order, I'm for the blue chill. If that means you're for them, it's like, you mean you can't be for them and be for us too?
Precisely.
Or is it one against the other?
Precisely.
And I get the one against the other when I
he is using Richard Nixon's 1968 game plan of law and order. He is appealing to white voters, and when they hear law and order, what that says is, oh yeah, let's keep them in in check. That's what that means.
Exactly.
Pure and simple. That's what that means.
Exactly. So you mentioned Jim Brown. I'm gonna tell you, man, I've always revered Jim Brown. For years, all my life, man, I always looked at Jim Brown as an American hero and somebody that I could look up to, somebody that I would want to be like someday. But this last year or so, Jim Brown has really been a disappointment to me, man. The type of things he's been saying, talking about he loved Donald Trump and he's a great man and he's going to do this, and he's just taking his word for it. And when you look at all of the things that Donald Trump has done up to this point, nothing indicates that he is capable of doing any of these things that he says he's going to do for the inner city. I don't understand how Jim Brown can get took on something like that. But then I thought about it, and hey, man, I know y'all gonna get me for this, man, but I did remember, man, that Jim Brown did wear a dress once in a movie. And I'm gonna tell you something, I really don't trust dudes that wear dresses. I just don't. I don't trust dudes that wear dresses.
But here's the deal. He met Darrell Scott, who was in Pastor Darrell Scott in Cleveland, and okay, I got it. Now it's interesting. Now when Jim Brown came on Tom Joyner Morning Show, he said that no, that got misconstrued. He was speaking of his love and affection for Scott, not Trump. But then others played the
That's a problem too, though.
Well, then others played the audio back, and they were like, "No, you were talking about Trump." So, and okay, fine. If you want to say he's the president, he's my president, that's fine. I don't even care. My point is this here: show me the plan, the policy prescription for what you talked about. I don't want to hear he was nice, he was cool, we had a great meeting. No, show me the plan. I don't want to hear nothing else. Show me the resources. If Jim Brown says, or Ray Lewis says, or anybody else says, I met with the president said he is going to put forth a $20 billion plan that he is going to get behind and push Congress to adopt when it comes to providing job opportunities for African Americans. That's a hardcore number. That's a plan.
Right.
I then can look at that and go, okay, let's see if he proposes it. Let's see if he pushes it. Let's see if he advocates for it. Let's see if Republicans in the House and the Senate actually agree with it, and will they pass it, and will he sign it into law?
Yeah, you were saying that during the whole campaign. You know,
all I kept saying is, show me a plan.
You asked everybody. You asked Trump to show you a plan. You asked his campaign managers. You asked the pundits. You asked the people, the voters. You say
about 30 or 40 black Republicans.
Nobody could tell you what the plan was.
And that's the point, because there is no plan.
Right.
There is none. So what you got is you got hype. So you got people meeting with you. Oh, we had a great meeting. No. I don't care. Look, it's like anything else. People want to do business deals with me. Okay, and I call it Negro deal making.
Okay.
When let's get together for lunch. Okay. All right. It's lunch. What's the deal? What do you want to do?
Right.
What kind of television project you want to do? Radio, internet project. Okay. What's the financing? What are you talking about? How much? See, that's planned.
Right.
Now, if it's, man, I got some ideas and some things, I'm going, okay, gotcha. And so then if we have an hour and a half lunch and we've laid out the broad outlines of this idea.
Okay.
And you say, well, let's have a second lunch. okay, send me a one-sheeter or put this thing on paper so I can see it beforehand. We'll go to the meeting. Now, if the second lunch is a repeat of the first lunch, you wasted my damn time.
Right.
And from that point on, first of all, you ain't getting a second lunch. I'm going to tell you, talk to my people and shoot them the plan so we know where we're moving forward. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And that's the problem. So the problem is having a, and see, I'm going to walk in, and this is going to happen. I'm going to walk in, I'm going to slide a sheet of paper across the table. That's what I want. And I'm not saying I don't want a youth center. I don't want after school basketball. No. I'm talking about billions. See, that's the deal. Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. Always has, always will. So when you meet with power and you say, I may never have an opportunity to sit across from the president of the United States again, that's what I'm going to do. Do understand, I had meetings, off-the-record meetings with President Barack Obama and others in the room, and let's just say one of those meetings, there was a story that came out in March 14, 2014 in the Wall Street Journal that said black folks, out of $23.09 billion in small business loans handed out in 2013, black folks only got $385 million, 1.7%. I was hot. I saw the article. I immediately emailed the White House. It was a Saturday. I was blowing them up. SBA, Small Business Administration, not getting back with me. I'm riding it. I told the White House, I said, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to ride your ass every day. I'm going to be talking about sports. I'm going to bring these loans up. I'm going to be discussing entertainment. I'm bringing these loans up. Right. I said, I will not be silent until somebody explains to me what y'all are doing to ensure black folks get more loans. And when I walk into that meeting with the president, it was a whole bunch of radio people. You know, the late Doug Banks was there, Frank Ski, Reverend Sharpton, Yolanda Adams, it was Lonnie Love. It was all these folks, Joe Madison, April Ryan, Mo Ivory, and Althea was with Russ Parr, all the folks in the meeting. I ain't there to be happy. Mm-hmm. I'm not there for a photo. Came time my question, Mr. President. 23.09 billion handed out. We only got 385 million. What are y'all doing to ensure we get more loans?
Yeah.
See, that's I'm coming with an agenda that's real. That's the difference. And so all the people met with him, nothing. Not a single specific policy, idea, commitment at all. Those are wasted meetings.
Right. I feel like I'm glad you mentioned that too, because you know I'm on Facebook a lot, man, and people, you know, I am a big time advocate for anything against Donald Trump. So when I speak about this dude, a lot of times people say, well, how do you plan to get anything done, and if you won't even sit down and talk to the man, and you won't talk to the man? Now, my thing is this, is that, like you say, if we can get something done, if we're going to have some meaningful conversation, instead of you just patting me on the back saying, you're a good man, and then I say, oh, he's a good guy. You know, damn all that, man. We got some serious issues.
Yeah, I'll sit down with him.
Exactly.
See, all people who say, I'm not going to meet with him. No. Just like I had the white supremacist Richard Spencer on my show.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to sit down with you.
Right.
Now, you're going to catch some hell.
Right.
Oh, you're going to catch hell.
Yeah, and I saw that interview.
See, I'm going to sit down.
By the way, you shut him down as you normally shut down all these type of cats.
I'm going to sit down with Trump.
Yeah.
But understand, it's going to be some heat coming from this side of the table.
Right.
I'm not walking in smiling. I'm going to tell you, when it was same with Richard Spencer. I walked in playing Glory by Common and John Legend. I had on my speaker. I walked into the office playing that. Wasn't no pictures, wasn't no handshakes beforehand. When we went to the set, I was playing Tupac and James Brown from Django. Mm-hmm. The Big Payback. And same thing. Wasn't no handshakes, wasn't no hellos, it was like, hi, boom. Wasn't none of that.
Right.
I ain't playing nice with a white supremacist.
Right.
I'm about to put my foot in your behind. I sit down with Trump, ain't no smiling. It's gonna be like, how you doing? Let's meet. I know what I got. Ain't no joking around. We ain't talking about golf. We ain't talking about none of that stuff.
Right.
I'm here for business. And I think that was the problem for black folks. If you gonna meet, you go hard, and you say, no, I went in and I'm asking this. Donald Trump is going to have to, if I sit down across from him, he is going to answer, have you apologize to President Obama personally for that birther crap, and when will you apologize to America? I'm not, until he does that, I'm not letting him off the hook for anything else, because that was an abomination where he questioned the legitimacy of the first black president. I will not get off that until he apologizes. And it don't matter what he does. He can sit here and bring 500,000 jobs. He gonna have to answer to that, because that was an abomination.
Roland Martin is in the building, and Donald Trump is an abomination.